This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of Revival Gold, Mr. Hugh Agro. Hugh, how are you this afternoon?
Very good, Gerardo. Good to be back.
Well, I understand you're actually in Spokane, busy as always getting the word out. How has Spokane treated you, and what are you doing in Spokane?
We've got the AEMA annual meeting and conference event. So that's the American Exploration Mining Association. They do it in Spokane, where the association first started, which is interesting. It's a mining historic mining location in the state of Washington. Beautiful town, and lots of folks running around with a specific focus on mining here at the conference.
Excellent. The last time we spoke, we talked about Arnett possibly being a satellite deposit to Bear Track, and we now have some near-surface oxide gold confirmed at Arnett. And you also extended the Bear Track mineralized trend by 250 meters. You had some news a couple of days ago that I want to talk about. Can we start by stepping back a bit and giving listeners an overview of what the 2018 drilling program was intended to do? And then let's talk about what it actually did.
Our objective with 2019 was to advance the prospect for us to fast-track a restart of the leach plant that exists at Bear Track, and then build out the concept for a potential mill operation in the longer run. And we've achieved both of those goals in 2018.
Excellent. Let's talk about the latest release. We had holes from Arnett and we had some holes from Bear Track. Let me go over some of the highlights. Hole AC18-12D intersected 1.44 grams per ton gold over 4.6 meters. As important is that it was very near surface and it was oxide gold. You also had some high grade hits within that, a 4.1 meter intersect of 9.19 grams per ton gold. I can continue, but can you summarize how you feel about the initial drill results from Arnett?
So the first objective there was to confirm that we have oxide mineralization as a second potential source for the existing facilities at Bear Track, and that's what we've done with these 6 holes that we released earlier this week. We've got another 2 holes to come, but it's an initial program. It was targeted to confirm that we've got oxide mineralization there. The holes themselves and the way we've released them. Some folks have looked at that and said, "Well, geez, how does this all work?" Well, they're all within 125 meters of surface, these intercepts, and what we've chosen to do is give the narrower, higher grade intercepts. But of course, we would be looking at this as a potential bulk mining scenario, and we're just getting started with it. It's quite exciting for us, as you point out. We've got some really good grades there. We'll have to do a lot of work over the next 2 or 3 months to start putting these into plans that will allow us to maximize our drill program for next year around building this out into a resource. But that's our intention for 2019. And with respect to 2018, to use an oft-used phrase, it's mission accomplished with respect to Arnett and our initial drilling there. If I can just jump to Bear Track, at Bear Track, of course, the job there is to show that we've got scale to this deposit, and as you point out, we've stepped out another 250 meters. So in total, we've got now 950 meters of mineralized trend that extends beyond where the May resource of a couple million ounces ended. And so that's a very large scope for us to build on the resource. We'll of course have to get in there with infill drilling. We'll look to do that starting in next year's drill program. But that's huge potential for us to grow the resource at Bear Track. So again, mission accomplished on both these fronts. It's a really good way to end the year.
And just to provide a brief overview for people that may not be familiar, the 2018 drilling program was approximately 15 core holes. I believe it was about 7,600 meters, and there's still 2 holes pending from Bear Track as well. Correct, Hugh?
That is correct.
Excellent. So 2019, what can shareholders look forward to, Hugh? I know you touched on it a bit earlier, but just to summarize.
So we have 4 holes to come out, 2 from our net, 2 from Bear Track. We are pursuing 4 different permit applications in the area. We're making really good progress on that, so we'll have an update on that in the beginning of the year. And then we'll move to about 5,000 to 10,000 meters of drilling in 2019, with the objective that by the end of the season, and by the end of the year, we'll have initiated a update to the resource estimate. And all of this will be done with a view that we can get into some kind of a PEA in 2020. In addition to the drilling, we'll be looking at a second phase of metallurgical test work, and we'll be starting some work on economics and building up the information that we'll require for a PEA in 2020. Be a big year for us.
Hugh, you have an excellent share structure. It's 42 million shares outstanding, approximately, if I'm not mistaken. You had a working capital balance as of the latest reporting period of approximately 2.3 million. The last time we spoke, you mentioned that you had your eyes on potentially accretive opportunities. It's a very tough market for most of the juniors. The share price for Revival has held up well. I still believe it's one of the best value propositions in the space. With all that being said, are you still looking at potential accretive acquisitions that would make sense? Or is the focus, and I know the flagship is Bear Track, you're obviously excited about our net, but are you still using that very, very influential Rolodex of yours to look at things?
We are, but I've got to say, at 65 cents a share, it's pretty compelling to be buying our own stock today than buying new projects. So I think we'd have to see a much elevated share price before we found anything that would be as accretive as what we've got at Bear Track Arnett. We've really only scratched the surface. One of the things that we haven't talked about is the land position at Bear Track Arnett, and we've now built that up to over 5,000 hectares. We've got, as I mentioned earlier, a number of permitting processes in play that will give us drill targets across that property position. We've got lots of places to go to find gold in our own backyard. We'll continue to look, and we think there's some very good value out there. But we're choosy, and we think there's pretty damn good value in the Revival Gold share price today. I should note that both our chairman and myself have been buying shares in the market. We put our money where our mouth is. We think there's good value in the company, and we intend to continue to deliver for shareholders and build this company. We've got a great foundation to do that from as it stands already, and I feel very good about our position as it stands, even on a status quo basis.
Hugh, I've had the good fortune of being at the property twice now. Can you explain the infrastructure advantage that you have over some of your peers? Because I think that's very understated and not appreciated by the market. A lot of it is lack of due diligence, frankly, on many analysts' behalf. The infrastructure advantage is significant. Can you provide a brief overview of what currently exists on the property?
Perhaps we haven't done a very good job of communicating that, Gerardo. You'll see, for folks who want to get a sense of it, I encourage you to go to our website. But at Bear Track, we have power to site. We have existing leach ponds. We have an ADR facility that, while it have to be rehabilitated, is currently operating. It's processing leachate from the historic leach pads. Nothing of consequence, Gerardo, but the point is that it's operating infrastructure. And we've also got the access, the roads, the water, and all of these things give us great advantage in terms of the possibility for a restart of that operation on leachable material. We're, of course, also building out the possibility for a mill scenario, and there is a very large sulfide resource that we're growing, as we've discussed at Bear Track. But in the immediate term, that infrastructure that we have there is a huge and important advantage relative to our peers. Along with that infrastructure, we have the people. We have the former general manager for the operation who works on our team and is our general manager based in Salmon, committed to the project and a very seasoned veteran in the mining industry. So we have both physical and human resource infrastructure that will allow us to move quickly on that project. We've got a lot more drilling to go here, but we've got all the pieces together to put this into back into operation.
It's a lot of anchors for a company with a market cap of approximately 27 million Canadian. Hugh, thank you so much for taking time today. Enjoy the conference.
Thanks, Gerardo. We'll keep you posted.